I will be penning a letter to Minister Hill, and I will be advocating for the immediate suspension of copper exports under the scrap metal industry.
Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Denhamton Police seek witness for a court case. Detectives from the Denhamton Police Station are seeking the public's assistance in locating a witness who is vital to a case currently before the court. She is Keisha McCoy of Thornton Park in the parish. She was scheduled to appear before the Corporate Area Parish Court on Friday, December 9. McCoy or anyone knowing her whereabouts is asked to contact the Denhamton Police at 876-922-6441 or the nearest police station. Man charged in joint police-military operation in Golden Heights, Denhamton. A 22-year-old man has been charged with possession of firearm and ammunition and removal of mark on firearm following a joint police-military operation in Golden Heights, Denhamton, in Kingston on Tuesday. Charged is Ronald Johnson Jr. of Upper Regent Street in the parish. Reports are that about 5 p.m. during the joint operation, Johnson was seen among a group of men acting in a manner that aroused the officer's suspicion. He was accosted and searched, during which an Arcus pistol with 17 rounds of ammunition was found inside his bag. Two charged after break-ins in Portland. Two men were arrested and charged with breaches of the Larceny Act in two separate incidents in the parish of Portland late last month. Charged are 51-year-old Wayne Harnett, a painter of Springbank Road in the parish, and 20-year-old Romario Jones of Nelson Street, Port Antonio. According to police report, Harnett is facing charges of housebreaking and larceny following an incident in his community. The police say that about 3 p.m. on November 28, the complainant had security lock up his dwelling and left when Harnett pried open a section of the floor and went into the house. It is alleged that Harnett stole several items before exiting using the same route. A report was made to the police, and Harnett was arrested after the complainant's properties were found in his possession. His court date is being finalized. In the second incident, Jones was charged with short breaking and larceny following an incident in Buff Bay in the parish. Reports are that about 10 p.m. the complainant had securely locked up his bar when Jones and others pried open the door and went in. A report was made to the police, and Jones was arrested and charged after CCTV footage showed him as the perpetrator. His court date is also being finalized.
I will be penning a letter to Minister Hill, and I will be advocating for the immediate suspension of copper exports under the scrap metal industry. I have no fear in saying that, despite the fact that we're about to go into Christmas season, based on what has been presented here and the unequivocal evidence of the link between the both, is impatient of action and impatient of stemming this situation.
Vance pushing for suspension of scrap metal exports. Minister of Science, Energy and Technology Darrell Valls is advocating for the immediate suspension of copper exports in the country. I will be taking a letter to Minister Hill, and I'll be advocating for the immediate suspension of copper export under the scrap metal industry, Valls said at a press conference staged by the telecommunications company Flow at the Cottage Hotel on Thursday. His comments comes after a man was taken into police custody for being caught allegedly stealing cables belonging to Flow along Hillcrest Avenue, St. Andrew, in the wee hours on Thursday. I'm saying that despite the fact that we're about to go into the Christmas season, based on what we have been presented with here and the unequivocal evidence of the link between both, is the patient of the action and impatient of stemming this situation based on our conversations, he said. I am confident that he too will have his ministry revised and come to a position that can be announced in short order. But I believe strongly that we will send a very strong signal in relation to what we saw visually that took place this morning, which is reprehensible and unacceptable. And we find solutions and will use government apparatus, government security forces, and other technologies we can use in relation to stem this, he added. He also noted that the Telecommunications Act is currently under review and the maximum sentence for theft or any other offenses under the Act will be imposed. The Telecommunications Act is being revised, and of course, we will go to the maximum fines that are allowed in the parish court. I feel strongly that we have to take a look at this and see how we can encompass this, as we also are looking at the Cybercrimes Act, Voss stated. He said that he remains committed to the telecommunication providers that are facing challenges and that this matter will be at the forefront in his ministries come January. 50 people killed in traffic crashes in November, says RSU. A carnage-filled November has seen a worrying 50 people killed in motor vehicle crashes on the nation's roads. This is according to statistics released this week by the Ministry of Transport and Mining's Road Safety Unit RSU, which said the deaths resulted from 41 fatal motor vehicle collisions during the month. The number is identical to the 50 fatalities recorded in November 2018, with 42 fatal crashes that month. It is more than the 43 deaths recorded in November last year, and significantly more than the 30 recorded in 2020. The RSU said 86% of those who perished in motor vehicle crashes last month were males. 18 of those who died were motorcyclists, 17 were drivers of private motor cars, and 10 were pedestrians. The police of St. Anne accounted for 16% of the deaths, with 8, while St. Andrew accounted for 14%, or 7 deaths. The parishes of St. Catherine and Westmoreland each recorded 5 deaths, while Manchester and Clarendon had 4 each. Portland, Hanover, and St. James each saw 3 fatalities during the month under review, while Kingston, Trelawney, St. Anne, and St. Elizabeth each recorded 2 road deaths. There were no fatalities in St. Thomas in November. Meanwhile, the RSU said the main cause of traffic crashes and deaths was motorists proceeding at excessive speed with no regard for road conditions. A further breakdown of the statistics reveal that following, motorcyclists account for 36% of fatalities during November, pedestrians accounted for 20% of road users killed during the month, private motor vehicle drivers accounted for 14%, private motor vehicle passengers accounted for 8% of the road deaths, pillion passengers accounted for 6%, passengers of public motor vehicles accounted for 2%. Vulnerable road users, pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillion passengers accounted for 62% of all road fatalities last month. In the meantime, 444 people have died in 386 fatal collisions since the start of the year. A total of 487 people were killed in 2021, a record number during the COVID-19 pandemic, which had lockdown days and curfew hours. JCC urges crackdown on people damaging utility infrastructure. The Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, JCC, is calling on the Jamaican Authority to step up its support of National's utility by updating its legislative sanctions against those who continue to deliberately degrade the infrastructure of these utility operators. The Business Association is drawing attention to the fact that these firms are forced to spend multi-millions of dollars annually to replace or upgrade critical assets that are periodically stolen or damaged across the island by individuals or gangs who, short-sightedly, have made the decision to disadvantage the many for the gain for few. JCC past President Ian Nato made the appeal at a press conference staged by Flo at the Cottage Hotel on Thursday. The press conference focused on the impact of theft and vandalism on the firm's operation over the past several years. We have seen the reports indicating that public institutions, on which large numbers of Jamaicans are dependent for health, security, educational, and other services, have been periodically denied access by the theft and damage of equipment and supplies. In some particularly heinous cases, these actions take place in the same location as many as 3 or 4 times annually. Nato noted legislative sanctions the Chamber believes may address the grave social and economic harm that ensues from such practices. It is evident that in some cases, the existing prescriptions under the Larceny Act, the Malicious Destruction of Property Act, and other pieces of legislation do not adequately reflect the serious nature of the actions and no longer have a deterrent effect on perpetrators. The nation's future is inextricably tied to its infrastructure reliability and resilience, and no amount of talk about digital transformation, including speedy and efficient access to public sector services, financial services, educational services, and which underpin much of the expansion that we have recently seen in industries as diverse as tourism and back office operations, not in these industries ever reaching their full potential if we cannot dismantle the network of bad actors who have been fueling much of this theft and vandalism, Nita stated. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the